Hello, and welcome back to Ask Jeff Anything, where I endeavor to answer any questions sent my way. Today's question comes from Patty Blount. Patty says, I've been wondering where the said Cunning Old Fury blog title originated. It's a unique name, and I'm sure there's a good story around it. Well, Patty, thanks very much for your question. For those of you who maybe have not noticed, the official title of my blog is Said Cunning Old Fury, which is, of course, a fairly inappropriate title for any blog, much less an author's blog. But then I'm actually pretty infamous for my terrible titles. Throughout history, just about every manuscript I've ever submitted to anybody has come back with at least one consistent criticism, and that is that my titles are terrible. They're obscure, they're pretentious, they have nothing to do with the book itself. My agent has even told me that my first draft titles would actually retard sales of my books if we left them as is. That being said, the title of my blog, Said Cunning Old Fury, comes from a very famous poem by Lewis Carroll. It appears in Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. It's called The Mouse's Tale. Now, Lewis Carroll, of course, is a genius, and Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and its sequel are works of, complex mathematical puns and literary allusions. I am not a genius. I write a book about a guy who shoots everything. I like to comfort myself by alluding to geniuses and sort of wrap myself in their genius and hope nobody notices. The Mouse's Tale is a very famous poem. It's often referred to as a poem that has a quadruple pun in it. Not only is it the mouse's tail, the tale that he's telling, it also refers to the mouse's actual physical tail. The poem is shaped like a mouse's tail. The rhyming scheme used in the poem is often referred to as a tail rhyme, and if you were to break the poem up into its verses on the page without the shape of the mouse's tail, each verse would actually be shaped like a mouse, where you would have a longer tail at the bottom. Again, Lewis Carroll, genius. Jeff Summers, not so much. The poem is pretty brief, and it goes like this. Fury said to a mouse that he met in the house, "Let us both go to law. I will prosecute you. Come, I'll take no denial. We must have a trial, for really this morning I've nothing to do." Said the mouse to the cur, "Such a trial, dear sir, with no jury or judge would be wasting our breath." "I'll be judge, I'll be jury," said Cunning Old Fury. "I'll try the whole cause and condemn you to death." I love that poem. I actually quote that poem several times in my books, just, apropos of nothing, once again, covering myself in someone else's genius. And it really has nothing to do with the blog at all, except that I think it's a brilliant little phrase. Well, Patty, once again, thank you for your question. Until next time, I'm Jeff Summers, and I'm not a genius.